Welcome to another episode of One of Us Knows What They're Talking About, and the other one is you. I'm Lori Burch, your host. Join us as we discuss and unpack wills, trusts, estate planning, and probate law in a way that's actually informative, interesting, and, well, hopefully entertaining. Because if you don't have a will, the state of Texas has one for you. Let's dive in. So very exciting today. Not always do we have guests, but when we do have guests, they're amazingly awesome. But these guests today are probably at the top of the guest list. And why we've taken so long, I'll tell you why. Because you all, HappyBox, do not know that we're at the cusp of an initiative. We had kind of a failed start to it, but that's fine. You know, we're doing our best over here, where we believe that we can make anything about estate planning. And the way we're doing this is these silly holidays that are like every day, if not more than that. So we're sitting in my office with Sarah and Cynthia, and I'm introducing this idea. And Sarah is skeptical, no more, but skeptical at the time about when Cynthia and I are like, we can make any of these holidays about estate planning. We need to start promoting this. And I'm like, give me one. And she's like, hot dog day. And we're able to just like riff. And then what was another one that you're like, no way, can you do this, Sarah? What was it?
There was one like,
do you remember?
Chicken wing
Chocolate
day.
day.
They're all food days.
Tequila day.
And drink days.
So again, literally anything. So that's something we've been playing with. We even did a podcast about it. But we're going to continue to incorporate making anything about estate planning. What is the holiday though, Sarah, it's either actually today?
It is today.
It's today. What is today's holiday, Sarah?
Whoa.
It is International Friendship Day.
Yeah, International Day of Friendship.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I love it.
So serendipitous that this is the day that we are having you on.
Yes.
So that is how today, even though people won't be listening or watching this on the actual day, but International Friendship Day. So people who are not only colleagues and associates, but friends are joining us today. I would like the two of you to introduce yourselves. Tell us who you are and really whatever you want to share. Frighteningly.
Who are we, Amber? Rock, paper, scissors.
Nope, this one's you.
We are HappyBox Productions. And as the name implies, we're a video production company. Just kidding, it doesn't imply that at all. But we do love delivering happiness as though it were in a box. And so there it is. We did video production together for a bigger corporate entity as employees. And then after our departures from that company, we decided to just kind of like do that anyway, but for ourselves. And so HappyBox was born because our friendship was forged in the fires of collaborative storytelling on video and on camera. So that's what we're doing today because we can.
Excellent. And I had the good fortune of being introduced to HappyBox via one of our advertising partners, Plano City Lifestyle.
Yeah.
Which do you all get do you all look at the magazine? Of course you do.
I think
sure.
you
I
get
do.
it. I don't.
I get it.
I don't even get it.
I looked at it a lot more vehemently when our ads were running in it.
Okay.
Oh,
well, you know, we won, and I have a good feeling we might have a second win in a row of best advertising campaign.
I don't doubt that at all.
So we are
not in the least.
We edit her podcast. That's one of the things that we do for her. And so I saw your episode with her in the first like 20 minutes.
Yes.
Where her y'all just like you win everything. You win everything. You win so many things.
I win a lot of things. But this next one is they're all really, really good. But this next one, the theme of and one thing that they love about us is we actually follow the theme of the month.
Yes.
which it didn't occur to us not to do that. So the theme is fashion. And again, we can make anything about estate planning. And I just can't wait for this. But anyway, so we met through that because part of this association, we get to meet, we get a video done. And fortunately or unfortunately for the previous production company, something happened to them. I think it was kind of actually tragic or something. So they had to find a new company. And so you all come into my office and it was instant. Was it instant?
It was so instant. It was so instant that I have burned into my brain that I'm looking at you and I'm like, you're just my favorite.
Yeah.
We hotly debated. No, Lori, we hotly debated that instance for several weeks afterwards because do you remember what you said when she said that to you?
It's on video.
But does she remember? You looked back
I don't
at
remember
her.
What I said.
You looked back at her in her eyes and you said, "You're my favorite too." But then you looked at me with these shifty eyes when you realized that you said that to her in front of me. And Amber took those shifty eyes to mean, I don't think she means it. I don't think she meant that. That was a pressure favorite. That wasn't a real favorite. And so we were debating. It was a whole thing. And so now we finally got her around to believing that you meant it when you said that.
Ryan.
Yeah.
I do mean it.
I know that like Lori is really hitting it off with someone because we share a wall whenever she's in the office. It gets really loud in there, and then you just start making plans with them for later. How often that happens? That does not happen. So if she's legitimately like making plans, it's like, oh, okay, these people are going to be sticking around.
Yeah.
Yes, and they will, and that's a good. That's a good segue because I am constantly thinking of ways for us to do stuff together, whether it's professionally or socially, spiritually, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And so this is the next iteration of that. But, you know, as you know, Amber and Ryan, that our podcast is themed on one of us knows what they're talking about and the other one is you. And so when we have guests on, we like them to be able to share things that they know about, that there's either misperceptions or people think they can spoiler alert, like DIY in our world of legal planning and do that. And I do think it's interesting because it's in the 20 years that I've had this business and had to do marketing and videos, it really is. And the same thing with the legal profession. It's more accessible, the technology.
Very much.
And I think that's what makes it harder, which you're going to make it not hard to understand in a moment, but makes it harder for some people to understand why do we need professionals to do this thing that I can download an app for free, in-app purchases. I can download this app for free and do all of this stuff. And so I know that that's one thing. And then I know there's something else called the thing behind the thing. So those are topics. And then if anybody has watched or listened to this podcast, you know that Sam and Sarah will have something. And I just want to say I'm sorry in advance.
We're raining them down right now. Yeah. They cannot be reined in. Yes. Sometimes I try. It doesn't work.
Yeah. So let's start there. Like, tell us, like, what do you know? What are you right about that everybody else is wrong about?
That is a question you've been waiting your whole life to answer.
Oh my gosh. We have like a whole list of things here.
Yes, but it all came
so start with them.
Start at the beginning. Okay,
what a great segue. Read that list.
We're going to read it to you word for word.
And this is going to be the opposite of storytelling, by the way.
Right. So kind of like to your point, people... We keep it as lightweight as possible. So one of the things that makes us different than every other film production company in the area is that they will show up with their big giant fancy cameras and their big giant expensive lenses, and they will visually conspicuously validate the enormous expense that comes along with having them set up shop and film you. We use our phones. I mean, when I say we use our phones, we're using this, right? So it's like, people be like, what kind of camera is that? Because it looks more like a camera than a phone after we're done decking it out. And that comes down to the fact that some on our camera crew have certain ergonomic limitations where carrying around a big, giant, heavy camera all day is bad news bears. So we have to downsize for those reasons. But at the end of the day, when we tell a potential client we're filming this on our phone, instantly, it's almost like all of our street cred goes out the window, and they're like, "Well, I have a phone. My phone has a camera. Why can't I just do that?" And at this point in our business lifespan, my response is, "Okay, go ahead." And then call us when it sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I say it nicer than that, but you know what I mean?
No, say it like that.
I should. That is more on brand for us, actually. Like, you suck at this. That's why you need to hire us to do this. But at the end of the day, like, these are tools that we know how to use better than people who just have it in their pocket and got it because you just need a phone in our society and it happens to have a camera and you can push a button to make a video, right? Like, we both went to art school. There's film school under here. There's 20-something years of experience learning how to not just do all the technical aspects of using a tool to achieve a product, but also what are we filming and how are we filming that? And tons of people will sit down for an interview, but not every interview is going to make the audience cry when they watch it, right? And so there's so many like invisible, intangible, almost impossible to teach little intuitive things that we've learned over the years from doing that we bring to the table that a phone just doesn't come with out of the box.
Right. Unless it's a HappyBox.
Unless that's the only box.
It's a HappyBox.
Right. Hang on, I'm going to write that down. Where's my pen? Oh, wait, no, I need it from me.
It's okay. This is being recorded.
Okay, yeah.
So,
go.
So, reality is, yes, anyone can pick up their phone, take a video, and we were actually discussing this earlier. You can go on TikTok and scroll, and you'll get like hundreds of people, you know, within a few minutes who are telling you information, right? Or they're explaining something about their day. But that type of thing isn't necessarily the storytelling aspect of it. Like, you can make content, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are telling a story. And when we tell stories, because we have the experience that we have and so many years of figuring this stuff out, we ask questions to get to the thing behind the thing. So everyone has a story to tell, right? And we were talking about this too, Lori, because when we came in to film you, there was no wall, there was no mask. We were already there. Like, you were like, this is it. You know, we're already
I just am who I am.
Already at that thing, right? But there are people that we sit down and we have like multiple questions, and we are pulling this out of them, right? To get to like the real reason why they do what they do, the real thing that makes them tick, the thing in the background that isn't normally seen, right?
Yeah. No, and that's true. And I didn't know that that's how you approach things, because what was one of the funny things about when we first met and you were doing that, I mean, these questions are really good and probing, and I could see for people who are less comfortable or don't, aren't top of mind, for that to draw it out. But what was funny is every single one of your questions just happened to coincide with a story that I already had developed. Mm-hmm. And it got to this point where you're like, oh, okay. And just here's this question. I'm like, oh, okay. You want one? I got something for that too. And then you ask this other thing. Oh, I got another one. Are you ready? Is camera on?
We're like, because you just so happen much here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I have a story for everything, but I certainly had a story for all of your questions.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about it is the stories that you jumped to were stories that deeply resonate with who you are and who you've become since the events in that story happened. And when you tell that story, all of that resonance comes through, not just while you're telling it, but for the rest of the interview. So we definitely had like a snowball effect. And you would not believe how often we show up, we set up, we shake hands, get introduced, and we sit down for an interview. and we ask the same types of questions, but all they give us back is information. You know, like we may as well have been able to do this over email and then have you read it off because it's the same thing. But then you find out that they're into scuba diving. Has nothing to do with the business, but what am I going to do? I'm going to dive into that, pun intended, and get them to like show that passionate side of them and the thing that really lights them up.
Yep.
And then from then on, for the rest of the interview, that they carry that light with them. And so there's also a craft to the interview process where we dig down however we have to find the deepest levels of humanity that you're going to give us. And we bring that out, we hang out there for a bit, and then we circle it back around to get the content that we need for the video. And once we've gone all the way there and brought them back, they bring something back with them. And that's not something you're going to see in the closed captions or the transcript of the thing, but it's when people watch our videos and they say they feel something. They're not really talking about the words that the person said. They're like, when this person said this, it really made me feel. No, they just feel it, right? And that's the difference between relaying information about things that happened and storytelling. Is in one, they're watching someone go through a journey, but in the other, they're going on a journey with them. And a lot of what we do that kind of, I think, sets us apart and makes us good storytellers is when people watch our videos, by the end of it, even if it's a minute long, they feel like they've gone on the journey with the person in the frame. Because of how, and it's not just the interviewing, it's like she just basically has a camera and just goes crazy getting all kinds of really neat shots and all kinds of things. And partially from a technical perspective, it's for coverage, but there are so many moments where she just intuitively is in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing to complement what is happening. And so there are all these other psychological visual elements that are going on that will put the audience exactly where they need to be for what they're watching to hit them exactly how it needs to hit, which is on the surface, it looks like you're pointing a phone at someone and watching them talk, but there are so many layers upon layers upon layers of intangible things informing that. And a lot of times I'll talk about how I couldn't swim till I was 13. And my next door neighbor with a pool, like, tried her darndest to get me to learn how to swim. I was like a mission for her to teach me how to swim our entire childhood. And she started with teaching me how to tread water. So she went out of the deep end and she just treaded water. And she was like, just do this with your arms and legs. So I'm out there and I'm doing what I see her doing, but I'm sinking like a rock. Because what she wasn't able to relate to me were the motivations behind those movements. I was just looking at the end product and mimicking it. So when people see our end product, there is a narrative in their head that feels really rational. It's like, oh, I could mimic that end product. And you put a phone in their hand and say, go for it. and then, like, they, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to even express what that is until someone experiences it for themselves.
Well, and we were discussing too how it's,
go ahead, Amber.
It's very similar. It's similar to what you go through, right? In wills and estates, and people think, yeah, I can do that.
I can use a word processor. So therefore, I can make my own will, right? Like you kind of have the same thing.
No, I mean, who would ever think that there's a parallel there? But it absolutely is. And one of the things I was going to mention from what you're saying is both in the legal field, but also as you know, and some people know, I have a great deal of experience speaking and so forth. And it's something that's it's in my blood. It comes naturally to me. And so I've been asked many times about, how do you do that? How are you able to? But I tell people that you have no idea how hard it is to make it look so easy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so if I get up and give a speech and it seems like so natural and eloquent, do you have any idea how much thought and precision and use of the thesaurus I have gone through and the practicing? Like for you all came to our 20th anniversary and my 6-year-old heard me practice, even though I used notes, I still wanted to make sure that I would envision like where I'm hitting this and who I wanted to look at and this, that, and the other. And so Adley was like out on the patio while I was like going through and like rehearsing that to make it look so easy and natural. And so when you're saying that, like, yeah, it can look so easy. And even in the legal world, like I'm going to do a quick deviation just because we did a seminar last night. And part of one of my segments is I talk about DIY stuff and I use examples, but I actually have on my screen right now some other slides I'm going to add. And no lie, this is from somebody's online will where I'm just going to say, I'm going to recap it. And then I want to see if it hits you where they're saying, I want my estate to be distributed as follows: 50% here, 100% here.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Does the math?
That's a really weird Venn diagram.
Oh, don't get us started on Venn diagrams.
Yeah. No. Sarah's an expert in Venn diagrams, so this would be the kind of Venn diagram that Sarah would come up with, right? Any chart, really. Yeah, can you believe? Awesome. So yes, like it really, there's a lot. And I think the swimming analogy is so good because there's so much behind it. It's not just mimicking the movements. There's a lot of training, experience, in some cases, education that goes in. And even with having, younger attorneys, when I am, they're presenting something to me and I'm able to say, oh, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And like, that sounds really easy, but it's just taken so much time to really learn and know the intricacies of the stuff. There has to be something to education and experience and all of the above. I'll actually use another good example that you like. I used this with the team recently where a mentor and coach of mine, he was talking about how he had just bought this house. It was like his first big, really nice home, and the AC went out. And a guy came out and said, all right, that's going to be, I can fix this in 6 minutes and it's going to be, I can fix this in 5 minutes and it's going to cost $600. Mm-hmm. And he was outraged because he had never heard of $600 to fix something. He said, especially for 5 minutes, like, how can you charge that much for just 5 minutes? And he's like, because of all the time and experience and education, it took me to know how to fix that in only 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Yep. That's exactly it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you learn at film school is, but you give a kid a DSLR and a decent lens, and he'll think he can go out and make a movie because it looks better than anything he's ever done before. But do they know lighting? Do they know composition? Do they know how? Like it's more. Yeah. It takes that much more know-how to achieve the same look with a mobile device that doesn't have all those bells and whistles. But by the time we give you the end result, it looks like we did. And that's a big part that people like.
Make it look easy.
Exactly. We had someone contact us recently who was like, "Hey, here's a thing I would like. What are your prices?" And we sent it to them, and they're like, "Oh no, that's too expensive." And I'm like, "I know. Can you imagine we're the cheapest in the industry? Crazy, right? Like, it is. You're paying for all of the expertise that it takes to be able to create something that looks like it was done in Hollywood on what you have in your pocket right now."
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I want to make sure you hit all the notes on your list, but I do have questions, but I also have some editorializing. So before we started recording, I was telling Ryan that I'm reading his book that he gave me. Yeah. And so one of the things in the last story that I most recently read over the weekend, I thought I was the only person that would tell a story and then stop it and then say, but I need to give you backstory here. And then stop the backstory and say, I need backstory to the backstory. And I'm just reading this thing. And I'm like, this guy's crazy. But then like it all like comes together. And I'm like, good. I'm not the only person that will like not finish a story and then say, okay, but now I got to go back. And then, now I got to explain this, but then you're able to bring it. And that's storytelling. Like, so it is related. So
I can't wait until you get to the end because
the whole book does that.
Everything. And
it is so, yes. And Amber edited this book, right? Like we keep calling it my book. Okay. It's my stories and everything, but she was the editor, the illustrator, the cover artist, wrote the blurb on the back.
Did you do the turtle?
She did the turtle. She did the turtle. Like,
is that
all
yours?
of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the gummy bear, that's hers.
Excellent.
Yes, yeah, she did everything,
All right.
everything else. It's a
Keep
definitely
that in
collaborative
mind.
thing. But yeah, the when you get to the end, I want you to text me. I don't care if it's 3 a.m. Once you get to the end, and I mean
There
like
won't be.
the very last cover, text me and tell me how you feel in that moment.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I promise I will do that.
Thank
So
you.
getting back to, I mean, not getting back, but we're talking about storytelling. And obviously that's something that we've resonated a lot with and something that is just a future project, mission, passion in life of really being able to help people tell their stories, because to me it does interrelate to their estate plan, in the sense that it's their legacy, it's who they are, that's going to carry on so much more. And a story that I told recently is that I've told a lot, but I actually just told it yesterday, is that client, and I told it in the one of the seminars that you recorded, but it so resonates with me, where within the first 5 or so years of practicing, I was going through a probate hearing. So this guy's loved one, his partner in life, she had died young, in her 50s, like wasn't expected, just a terrible cancer diagnosis. And the whole thing with like a will is to say, this is my stuff and it now goes here. And so we're at the probate hearing and I'm walking through the typical stuff, like, okay, now you can take this and close out the bank accounts, you can get the credit cards out of her name, this, that, and the other. And he's just sitting there saying, it feels like I'm erasing her. And that just sat with me so much, like, yeah, that it really feels like that. And then again, because I do stories and then backstories and that there's no chronology to them at all, when I look at my own experience and knowing that, the death of my stepfather was a pivotal moment, and it was at the beginning of me starting my own law practice, and how him working for Mobil Oil and the Pegasus at, downtown. And so now the Pegasus is a symbol of Burch Law because of the connection it had there. And then my firstborn daughter, Adlee, is spelled Ldlee, Lee, after him, because that was his name. And you look around our office and all you see is Mobil Pegasus, his train, his hard hat that he had from Indonesia, all of that. And it just occurred to me that no, he doesn't have any credit cards in his name or bank accounts or a home, but he's far from erased. And so the idea that what we do is really interrelated to helping people tell their story and who they are. And I think like we get really emotional about Disney Pixar movies. So Coco's one of them. I'm more of an Encanto person, but Coco fits this narrative better, where it's like the idea of it is that you are alive, or you are carrying on as long as there's a living person who remembers you. And it's not about money, stuff, tangible. It's not about any of that. So here's my segue to a question for you. I can see, because you're a company that wants to help create videos and production for other businesses to promote themselves. I think very naturally that fits in with an estate planning practice. Like, what's the story there? Tell me what the hell storytelling matters to a construction company.
Go.
Why me?
Like, what do you do with
looking
that?
at me?
Like, so if I'm a construction company or a roofing company and I'm like, hey, we need to do a video, and you guys will go on all out about touchy-feely, life-changing, who I am as a person, all of that. I get the connection, but if you've got, this East Texas guy, like, what does that matter to them? Like, what do you do with that?
I got it.
One of the things that did you say you got it? I want to hear it.
It's very simple. So, okay, back to, let me go back a little bit and then we'll come forward again. One of the biggest things that you have to do, I feel like, with what we do and with you guys do, is making people feel comfortable with the discomfort of like having the emotions be in the forefront, of having that human spark to connect with somebody. I feel like that is one of the biggest things where we struggle with people like wanting to hold on too much about like, no, I don't want to talk about my demise, but you have to plan for the future, so you have to do it. It's a really emotional process. But if you have somebody, so when I grew up in East Texas, so for Lori over here saying, okay, you have a construction person East Texas. They're a contractor. What do they build? Like, or just homes?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're doing here is you're going to them and saying, okay, we're going to talk about building this house, and then we're going to talk about the family that's going to move into it. The young couple that's going to buy it, who's going to have their family there, who's going to raise their kids there. And this is all because you do what you do, and you've done it for yourself, right? And typically they're like, yeah, well, I mean, I've either built my home or I've done a lot of improvements to a home I bought, but you go back to that, and that's how you can tie it all together with their story, how it's going to resonate to future people. Like, you just have to be, I feel like both parties have to be willing to be in touch with the emotional side or with the vulnerability of, hey, what's actually going to capture another human's attention.
Well, and that right there is great marketing.
Yes.
Because not only are you you're making that emotional connection, but you're showing someone how they can also feel that way. Like, yeah. and you add on.
Are you saying Cynthia's right?
She's right.
I have a feeling that that's very rare that she's not.
So not only that, but if we look at if we look at how there is an appetite lately for people to know who they're doing business with, right?
Yes.
And that's part of why we came to, do a video for you, Lori. It's getting to know the person behind the business. And if we are helping like a construction company tell their story, we're helping tell the story of the person behind that as well. So there's actually a lot of ways that I can help, but Cynthia, you were definitely there.
Right. It's if we use.
Okay, fine. Cynthia. Right, now it's a meat market, okay? All right, it's a deli, they have meats, all of that. So where's the story there? What's the passion play here?
It's like a deli, is it local? Is it something? Where do they get their?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'll just say they're clients of ours and we love it. So Hirsch's Meat Market, okay, in Plano, but highly recommend.
They're down the street from me.
What?
I love them. Okay, right. So Hirsch's Meat Market, they're somebody who does things in a way that's like still, like you go in, you take a number, the people talk to you, they ask you what you want, they have the folksy, they write like the amount and how much it is, like on the packaging, on the parcels,
the paper,
they like go around with you. They gatekeep the andouille sausage, by the way. That's one thing that I'm like, okay, fine, sir. Let me tell you my plans for this andouille sausage. I'm making red beans and rice.
You have to fill out an application for it.
I'm gonna put it on a cast iron skillet, render some fat, and get that. Like seriously, this man tried to gatekeep this andouille sausage from me. But I feel that shows a little bit more to me. Like, no, he's this like nice old grandfatherly man who's just asking me, hey, what are you actually going to do with this? How are you going to enjoy this product? Because if you have vegetarians, you have people who, they're like, no, I'm a carnivore, whatever. But it's, if you're having somebody sell you something that they're like, no, how are you going to treat this? What are you going to do with it? Let me give you some advice on how to do it. It shows, no, a place that they know what they're doing, they care about you, and they're going to help you. They're not just going to sit there like, okay, bye, here's a sticker, let's go. It's like, and it's also a little folksy. Also, they remember you whenever like you come back frequently.
See,
all right. So the experts.
That place is right down the street from me, and I've never been, and now I really want to go.
Because of
the
story.
Seen something, especially if I had seen a video that encapsulated all of that, absolutely.
And the thing is that like when we go back to home builders, if we can create content that goes from the mindset of they're building a house to the mindset of they're building a home, all of a sudden it becomes real. And it's and the story is the way that we make that conversion, right? If you're an old-fashioned meat market, you're not selling meat, you're selling an alternative to the grocery store, right? And so the question is, when people stopped going to Kroger to go to this meat market for their meat, what caused them to make that shift? And you know what their answer is going to be? It's going to be a story. Like the first time I bought meat, not from a grocery store, it was at a farmer's market. And it was this guy with just with this trailer. It's just like a refrigerated trailer with some meat in the back. And he would just basically say, what do you want and how much of it do you want? So I was like, I want some bacon, like a pound of bacon. Sure. I don't know. So he goes in the back and he gets it and he comes out with this rock hard frozen thing of bacon and he holds it out and I grab it. But after I grab it, he doesn't let go. So I look up at him and he's looking at my eyes and he goes, "Now I birthed this pig." And then he goes, "I raised this pig and I slaughtered this pig. You take care of this meat, it'll take care of you." And I'm looking at my hands and my hand is shaking. Like I had never had someone like stare into my soul and tell an entire lifespan worth of story in 3 poetically symmetrical sentences. Then all of a sudden that, like, I had more reverence for that meat than I've ever had for any meat ever. Right? Like I called friends over. We like cooked it together. It was the whole meal, right? It was such an event. And more stories were shared around that table than had graced that dinner table in years before, right? And every time I tell someone that story, the next thing they ask me is, "Where's that farmer?" Right? Like that wasn't advertising, that wasn't marketing, that was him just being who he was. And that becomes gift wrapped in a story. And then that story is bringing him business that he has no way of knowing was tied to those 3 sentences in that one interaction.
All right, I'm convinced. You can make anything about estate planning. You can make any basic, boring business about a story and storytelling.
Yes.
It's all good marketing and storytelling at the end of the day. And if it's not good storytelling, it's not good marketing. Right?
Yeah.
I know. You're
Yes.
welcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll send you an invoice after the podcast.
That's fine. Do you? So I want to make sure that we still catch any of the top items that you really want to hit on when it comes to this concept. But I also know that Amber's got a stop here, and I don't want her to miss out on Sarah and Sam's presentation.
I mean, we hit on the whole list.
What are we missing?
We're through.
We got it.
Like we talked about the thing behind the thing. We talked about misconceptions.
Okay.
So let's go.
So takeaway here, though, is that, even in this day and age of highly developed technology, that when it comes to video production, marketing messages, storytelling, that it's not as simple as just taking a lens and pointing it. It's when it comes to putting together a plan that's going to help support your loved ones and family. It's not pulling up a Word document or filling out some blanks, that there is experience or education or a combination of the two that's behind that, and that you're really doing a disservice if you are not employing professionals who know what the hell they're doing. Does that?
Right.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Sum it up.
I'm going to take that and put it on our website as soon as we get the transcript, actually.
So there you go. All right. So now Sarah and Sam, they've given some thought to the two of you and your topics, but more specifically the name of your business. And so they're, I don't know which one's going to introduce this, but I'm turning it over to them. And again, I am sorry.
You're also sorry. I mean, she said it. So we have some new names and then some video ideas that we think you should use for like.
Oh my God, I'm going to do all of your video ideas. Say that right now.
Okay. So the first, we took HappyBox and kind of did something with it. I'm so sorry.
Okay. I just looked at some of them.
The first one.
Are the two of you doing this back and forth? Like,
yeah.
Okay. All right. So Sam, you're starting. Okay, good. All right, let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one is Doom Cube.
Doom Cube?
Mm-hmm.
The Cube of Doom.
All right.
There's a Rubik's Cube story in there that I'll tell you off the air.
Yeah.
Next one we have for consideration is nervous Tupperware.
That's my personal favorite, I think.
So are you all just doing like an emotion and then like some sort of receptacle? Is that what's going on?
Basically, yeah.
Is that why the Tupperware like burps when you open it because it's nervous? Nervous Tupperware. Okay.
Okay, the third one, angry casket.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I feel like y'all should name your company the Angry Casket. Because it didn't have a plan. It's mad now.
Right.
All right, fourth consideration, sweaty hamper. Sweaty is not really a
You're the one that decided to keep that one.
Wait a second. Wait, I have a question. Is the hamper sweating? Or is it just coated in the sweat of the clothes that are in it? It itself is sweating?
Yeah.
So it's nervous like the Tupperware.
Don't write that down.
Yeah.
Don't write that down.
Now I have sweaty Tupperware.
But this next one's going to make up for it. So let's make sure.
This one is...
Sam, clearly and slowly.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Panic at the box.
Oh! Yes. Good Lord. I already have a logo in mind.
My computer.
Where'd Sam go?
Oh no, we lost Sam.
I think our computer died.
That was the ultimate mic drop moment ever.
Sam,
Wow.
do you just want to come around? Because you're still on the microphone.
No, that's the best exit from a podcast I've ever seen in my life.
And we never heard from Sam again.
Panic at the box. Boom. See, that was her exit from the podcasting world right there.
But we do still hear her. That's terrified. So she's just going to
hear her.
That's
what
her.
is it? She just saddled it next to you.
I think y'all are hearing
That's
an angry
I'm trying to
casket.
get her to do.
Actually, Panic.
Oh, there she is.
There you go. You can stand.
Yes. I need you to draw a logo for this.
Panic at
the box.
All right. They have one more, I believe.
All right. Our final consideration is triangle. Like a triangle. But
okay.
That's pretty good.
All right. There's something we can do with that.
We really love
you know that they
some
put it on the
wordplay.
list. They TM'd it, so
Nice.
Yeah, they put
Dude,
want to trade
that's what
that.
we need to say is when people joke about like, get my good side, be like, actually, we're going to get your triangle.
There you go.
Oh, shoot. That's really strong.
Yeah.
I'm getting triangle.
Okay, good job.
Circled it a bunch of
I was making a list and this one's triangle. I'm legit like, we're going to work that in somewhere. We're going to credit where it's due.
Sweaty hamper.
Get you a little backlink there. But yeah, triangle. That's strong.
That's some good stuff.
This whole podcast was worth it just for that one
All right.
thing.
We're not done.
They have a final upgrade of video ideas they think you should use.
Oh, that's right.
We
Video
need
ideas. Yes.
Yeah.
right.
So the first one is to interview mid skydive.
Ooh.
You know how hard it is to like do anything when you're going down that fast?
Exactly.
You know what? With
No.
DaVinci
I
Resolve
never
and
have
new
not.
audio reduction, we could get some crisp audio
Who
from
has
that.
skydived? Anyone?
She
No
has.
one.
No,
No,
I haven't.
No.
Yeah.
not on our side.
No.
Kimberly, my wife has sky dove.
I know.
Skydived?
How do you say that? I don't know.
Skydove?
Is that the past tense of sky?
I think skydived is the only time it's okay to say
Skydived?
dived.
Dived?
Skydived?
I don't know.
Skydived?
I'm just not going to say it because I'm not going to do it.
Divin. I like
skydive. Skydive.
No.
I'm
I
just
don't
going to
know.
make it as
Okay.
worse as possible. Okay, interview while
Yes.
skydiving.
Well, yes. Mid skydive.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Next.
Next consideration is an interview while fighting a bear. But the bear has a sad backstory, and this is their one last redemption.
That one's on you.
Wasn't that the movie that Leonardo DiCaprio finally won an Oscar for?
Did he win an Oscar? That's disappointing. He had such a good role.
Yeah.
I immediately pictured us just like in a gay bar, like just
Oh.
like we could definitely. I don't know about how loosely are you using the word fight? 'Cause it could look like a fight. We could stage. I'm going to do this on my own spare time anyway. That's a little like,
Yeah.
Oh no.
right.
He's like, I'm busy this week.
Interview me while I slap this guy. This is a bad idea to give us these ideas. Okay,
All right, there's two more. The next one is to do like a jail interview. So one person is behind the glass and you're talking like through the phone. But the video is to help them get out of prison.
Okay.
Ooh,
This is like Serial, but
dude,
like
I was on a film crew for a video that was made to be shown in court and only in court, where a lady had. I'm not gonna get into what it was, but basically someone had died, and there was a court case around it, and all we did was went around the entire small town. But this was one of those like one stoplight, one school, one, like everyone knows everybody, small towns. Mm-hmm. We literally interviewed everybody who knew this old lady and just got a whole collection of sob stories. And they, when the lawyers watched it, because they watched it before they put it in court, when the lawyers watched it, they just threw it out. They're like, okay, there's no way we're going to win against this video. That it's going to be a landslide. And so like the whole town won the lawsuit without even having to play in front of a jury. So yeah, let's do that.
All right. Okay. All right, last one. And Sarah, are you reading this one?
That would be correct.
I'm going to go out on a limb, though, and say, did Sam type this one?
You would be correct.
I know that for a fact. Okay, you need to read it exactly as it is written.
No, you need to
That's why I kept it.
Exactly.
So,
read it.
Last consideration. Burch Law searches for a real-life, alive Pegasus.
This is the gig we've been waiting for. Oh my god! Have we told y'all about Good Norman?
No.
When we were coworkers at the corporate entity that we worked at, okay, we were given a project to do with a scarily low amount of specificity. And so we filled that with our imagination and created a mini series within this organization in which we played gnome hunters who were trying to track down a renegade gnome who was running rampant on campus. But his name was Gnorman, but you had to pronounce the G, like everything that's like it was Gnorman the gnome. And so we like had gnome props and this whole intro, the story. It was an all out. They canceled it. No one was ready for that. Nobody was. We have like a pilot. We have a pilot and a blooper reel. And
Burch Law finding real life
a real life alive Pegasus.
Find a kid one.
A real life
alive Pegasus. Well, she's right. If we find a real life not alive one, yeah. And then we'd get is a video of you standing by it, being like, "It's in the state of Texas's hands now." Didn't have a plan.
That could be the end. Perfect. We've written the script. We're good to go. That's all that we need. We just come across it. Wow.
This whole thing is a search for it. There it is.
We have been needing someone to commission us to do something where we hunt down mythological creatures. That's on our bingo card and bucket list as HappyBox. So let's do it. We're doing it.
We're on board.
It's going to be called
plans now.
Just another project that we're going to do called Cry-Angle.
The Cry-Angle. Oh, my callback. I was like, it's going to be called Cry-Angle. Yes. Oh, man. Yes, this is the best day ever.
We really appreciate the two of you being on. And if you would, come join us again.
Yes.
Oh, anytime. Anytime. Like every week.
Okay.
Sarah, it's time for you to drop the anvil.
Yes, definitely. All right.
Thanks for listening. And just to cover all our bases about what you just heard, I'm sorry and you're welcome. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And tell your friends about us. We do webinars and live events. The best way to stay up to date is to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Links are in the show notes. If there's a topic you'd like us to cover, maybe you have a question you'd like us to answer, or maybe you just want to say hi, hit the link in the show notes or go to burch-law.com/podcast and fill out the contact form.
Much better.
Yeah, I thought that had a lot of energy.